Hey folks, how you doing out there? This is Darren Scorza coming at you with a quick drink and a wink here. Won't be too long because boy, it's been a hot one. So we're all kind of tired and hot and sticky out. So what am I going to bring you? Well, I'm going to bring you a Scotch. Now, a lot of times we don't think of Scotch whiskey as a summertime drink unless we're putting it into a highball or something like that. It's kind of icy cocktail. But even for me, sometimes it's a little bit of a stretch, especially if we're going to have some kind of whiskey that is peated or has some kind of smoky nature to it. Okay, although only about you can like one in five, maybe one in six Scotch whiskeys are actually peated. So it's not all smoky and campfire and barbecue. Something more appropriate for the fall and winter. But like I get it. Sometimes the blast of flavors and the warmth. Sometimes people are just like, I don't want to have any Scotch. I got the one for you. A while back, we bought this, and this is called Orchard House, which is a blended malt, or I'm sorry, malt blend, blended malt, whatever you want to talk about it, from the company Compass Box. Compass Box is not distilling their own product. Okay, they are kind of a combination of what you might consider a. Well, you know what I like to do? I like to say that they're kind of the combo of a blending or blended Scotch company and a little bit of an independent bottler, even though they're not bottling one distillate. Okay, I'll explain that a little bit more. When we buy blended Scotch, just regular blended Scotch, the company is buying plenty of different, both single malts and other grain whiskeys, and they're blending it together to make a blend. Johnny Walker is like this, Dewar's is like this, Cutty Sark is like this, on and on and on. Okay, they don't usually tell us a whole lot about what is going into the product. We kind of hear from different areas that, like the Kalila, which I was looking over there, I thought the bottle was handy, but Kalila is a single malt Scotch. It finds its way into Johnny Walker, particularly. Sometimes, if the blended Scotch company is close to a particular distillery, you can kind of do some kind of legwork or brain work and kind of figure it out. But we don't understand that. Compass Box is a little bit different company. They are buying single malts, and I don't know if they do any. If all of theirs are malted blends, let's remember what the difference is. If I take single malt Scotch and I take some grain whiskey, and I take some corn whiskey, and I take all manner of things, and I blend it together, we have a single malt Scotch. I mean, we have a blended Scotch. If I take any three of these single malt Scotches here, 3, 4, 7, I could add a drop of all of my Scotch over here, single malt Scotch, into there. Now I have what's called a malted blend. So everything in there is malted barley. That's it, okay? But it's coming from different distilleries. So it stops becoming a single malt Scotch, and now we have a blend of different malts. That's what Compass Box does. Now, Compass Box has some other offerings that are very, very smoky, very, very peaty. Peat bombs, really some of the highest, peat content Scotch that you can find. But they have a couple of others that are more on the fruity or not smoky peated side. And the best of theirs, for a long time, has been Orchard House. Right, Michelle?
I just fucking ruined.
You like Orchard House.
I love Orchard House.
Okay. So Orchard House is a wonderful little blend here, a malted blend, that really comes to the fore during the summertime because it's called Orchard House. But the scent on this, semi-sweet, a little bit of apple, a little bit of pear, a lot of things you smell in, an orchard. On the taste, you get some oaky notes, a hint of smoke, just a hint of smokiness. You get some bourbon barrel aging. You get a little bit of sherry aging in there. a little puff of smoke. It's just delicious. You know, if I mean on the cover you see they got pears and nectarines and peaches, like grilled fruits is what I would say out of this. Okay, it is not as kind of floral and fruity as one might think. There is a little bit of a hint of you know, barbecue in there, but not the saline and sea salt kind of things that we get from other peated whiskeys. Now, there are other malted blends that are like this, not with this taste profile. Where we'll really get knocked out when we're drinking this, this goes back so smooth, is A, it's bottled at 46%. So if you're buying Johnny Walker, for the most part, you're talking something bottled lower than that. Dewar's sometimes the same way. It is non-chill filtered and is no color added. So this is a very natural product, bottled at 46%. The other thing is, as I was saying, unlike you know, the big name just blended scotches, we have the batch numbers on here. So this one, we've had this a while. I think this is our second bottle of this, but this one was bottled in 2022. January 2022. So that's been around a while. We didn't buy it right when it was bottled. We probably got it a couple months later. Very, very tasty. But here's the coolest part. They got a little. This is a very modern type company. They got a little QR code up on the top, so you can scan it and track the bottles and track this blend. This I'm not going to read this stuff on here, but let me tell you what's going on. They are very transparent. So if I go to the website for Orchard House these days, they actually give me a graph, okay, of all the different single malts that are blended together here to make this blend. So the biggest one, it's funny, a lot of these are on my shelf. The biggest one is the Clynelish Distillery. Clynelish, everyone's favorite Clynelish 14. Wonderful kind of waxy Highland malt. That is one of the bigger quotients in there. Actually, this little pop-up covered the amount or the ratio. We've got some Glenmorangie first fill bourbon cask in here, single malt, 10.4. That adds and also gives you the flavor profiles of each of these. This current printout, the ratios might have changed a little bit. They're not always doing exactly the same thing all the time, but distillery near the town of Aberlour, pretty much first fill Oloroso sherry season, but it's 9.7%. It's probably just Aberlour. Kalila Distillery, that's where it's getting a little bit of the smoke. That's just 2.3%. Highland Malt Blend is 2.4, so that could be anything up in that area. I wouldn't know, but it does have a little bit of smokiness added there. Finally, a big quotient from the Linkwood Distillery, which is first fill bourbon. So they give you this graph of not only the profiles for each of these different malts that they're blending, but they give you the kind of, you know, the ratio and all this kind of stuff. It's very fascinating. You could, if you have a collection of 2 single malt Scotch whiskies at home, you could make your own blended malt. Okay, I've actually done it a little bit. Tried my hand on it. Take an empty bottle, pour a little bit of this, a little bit of that, see what happens. It's a lot of fun, and that's, you know, that's part of the whiskey experience. What I like about this is it's a very high quality product. Yes, like everything, it's gone up in price right now. This is about $50, but this is, if I'm buying a blended malt or just a blended Scotch whiskey, I would buy this over some bigger name blended malt or blended Scotches or blended malts all day. It's very tasty, very fruity. The nice thing about it is when you buy a blended malt, okay, not a single malt, you're going to be paying probably a little bit less, okay, depending on what it is. Notice that there are no age statements on this. Okay, that's the one key to this. So these malts that they're added to this might be on the younger variety. That doesn't bother me so much. What's fun about this is if I want to take this blended Scotch and put a little drop of bitters in there, see what happens. That's fun. If I want to put this blended malt into Put a cube in it, ice cube. That's great. If I want to try it in a certain cocktail, that's great. If I want to maybe add a little bit of lemon just to see if I can make, even more, that's a lot of fun. You can do that with any whiskey that you want. There are no rules to this. This isn't wine. We're not sitting there being, oh, no. You can do whatever you want. It just kind of, for me, now that single malt Scotch whiskey, anything of relative quality and age, is now in the $60-$70 range. This at 50, I know I'm going to like it right out of the chute. I know you're going to like it if you're a Scotch whiskey fan, and if you're kind of this would also hit with a lot of fans that are maybe more into wines. I would definitely think different white wines. You might like this because there are similar notes to this. Again, this is a real nice bottle. They have some other things. There's another one. I think it's called the Artist Blend. It's a little cheaper. We liked it. Didn't love it. It's good. It's really nice to see. Like I said, this is all natural, and I could actually see that it has not been filtered because there's a little bit. Now this has been in here a little while. There's a couple of little. Well, that might just be a cork piece, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. All right, very interesting stuff. Compass Box is the company. Orchard House is the bottling. I'll do one more round here on the nose after I've had a little bit. Yeah, there's definitely a pear element. One more time. Very good. Yeah, pear, a little bit of lime and lemon, apple, just all the different things. Not a lot of peach until we get to the taste, and there we get a little more peach, a little bit of that smokiness towards the finish. I'm just looking at the bottom of the bottle. Towards the end of the finish, I'm getting a little bit of that hint of whatever was added here that might have been peated or had some kind of darker, smokier elements. It's in there, but again, it's not like oceanic. It's not like Lafroig or Ardbeg or anything like that. It's like when you barbecue certain fruits or put certain fruits on. I shouldn't say barbecue. I should say put them on the grill. That's a different thing, right? Very cool. Check it out. I'm going to put the links below just for this company. It's a lot of fun. They take a lot of pride in their work. Look at that. Blended Scotch. There's no caramel colorant added. It looks like it's exact color that blended Scotch is supposed to be. Blended malt whiskey. Look at that, okay? That pale yellow. That's what it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be caramel brown or whatever. Very, very tasty. Again, if you're new to Scotch, and right now with various things in the way the market is, blended Scotch or single malt Scotch, meaning from one distillery, okay, is the price tag is unbelievable, and it's going higher and higher and higher. In blended Scotch, right now, we're seeing even those prices go up a little bit, and a lot of these big companies that own these blended, the big names, the Cutty Sarks, the Johnny Walker, even Dewar's, even though I think Dewar's right now is still doing some really good work. I don't know. I don't know if you're getting really, really high quality whiskey all the time. I like it. I like some of it, not all of it. I will tell you that Dewar's does a lot of good work. But look for these smaller companies, and there's something in between, and it's called a blended malt Scotch. Other ones that we've talked about is Monkey Shoulder is a blended malt Scotch. Sheep Dip is a blended malt Scotch. Trying to think if there's anything else. The most recent one that I bought from Campbelltown Lock is that. So this classification is in between classifications. A lot of fun. You'll save yourself, $10 to $15 to $20 versus a single malt Scotch, and you're still getting a very high quality product, and it's very interesting, and it has its own unique taste profile. It's not some kind of just slapdash kind of thing. All right, speaking of slapdash, I meant to make this thing about 10 minutes, and I'm already at the 14-minute mark. I'm going to have a little more of this. I think it's almost going to be time for me to buy another bottle of this as well. As you can see, it's getting a little low. I might grab that, see if maybe I can grab it when it's on sale at some point. Really nice. Compass Box, Orchard House. If you're a smoke fan, check out some of their other stuff. I can't remember all the names now because they change around, but they have some peat monsters, so some blasters too that I've had. Haven't owned any of them. Here you go. All right, folks. See you later. Orchard House.